What's good, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Today we're on CS2. I'm going to be talking about how to master your aim in CS2. I got 5 key concepts that we want to focus on. They're basic, but these are everything the pros do almost perfectly that are making them better than you. This is a quick and easy way to get to level 10. Aim is one of the most important things. I believe that game sense is going to come along with playing, but aim you can get better at pretty quickly. So first we're going to start with tracking. Um, Tracking opponents is a key part of this game. To practice tracking, you can have stationary targets. You can go left and right. You can go forward and backwards. You just want to practice following heads. Do this in the most uncomfortable positions on your mouse pad. So if there's a little spot you usually try to avoid, go to that spot and do it on that spot. Really focus on it. Make sure you're picking up your mouse here and there. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Crouch, come out of crouch. AD. Add in these little AD jiggles and do it. This is going to get your movement synced up with your aim. And this is also going to make you a hard target to hit. Um, a lot of pros like Donk right now, he's a master of movement. So he's adding all these little strafes and little extra movements that are just throwing the enemy off. And that allows him to get kills. So yeah, go around, track heads, flick. This is what I like to do when I'm warming up. I'll track one, swing to the other one, shoot. I'll do the same thing. I'll add AD strafes, shoot. I'll donk strafe, donk slide, donk strafe, whatever you want to call it. So I'm aiming at this target. I'm going to swing to him, tracking, swing to him. I'm going to counter strafe the opposite direction that I was swinging. So here I'm swinging right. I'm going to counter strafe left, crouch, and spray, which looks like this. Make sure you're aiming at the target and then shooting. Don't shoot and then aim. We really want to focus on aiming, then shooting. Pretty simple. Next, we're going to move on to crosshair placement. I like to use pre-fire maps for this. I'm not going to load one up right now. Let me see if I can get some loaded up here. Yeah, that works. So pre-firing, a big key part of this is visualization. You want to visualize where you think the enemy is going to be when you're swinging angles. So let's say I think there's a guy there. I'm going to visualize that angle. So I'm going to visualize him standing right there, and I'm going to be behind this wall. I'm going to put my crosshair where he's going to be. I'm going to visualize him right now. I'm going to swing, counter strafe, shoot. It's that simple. When you're practicing, go as slow as you need. Practice on being smooth. Practice on being 100% perfect when you're practicing. You might be slower. It might feel weird. It might feel uncomfortable. You might not feel like you're as good of a player as you usually are. You feel slow, whatever. Practice perfectly. This is going to give you um, the great, essential, easy skills that you need. You need to practice perfectly. You don't want to practice how you play. You want to get better, so you need to practice perfectly. So if that means going slow, go slow. If that means taking your time, take your time. So visualize where the enemy is. He's on that pillar. Swing, counter strafe, readjust, micro adjust, and shoot. It's that simple. You can also use DM. That's a good one. It's not as good for, I guess, just working on swinging angles, but it's definitely very good. It's just kind of random on there. Um, Another thing I like to emphasize is picking up your mouse. So say depending on what sense you use and how big of a mouse pad you have, you don't want to be hitting the edges of your mouse pad. I got a pretty big mouse pad and a high sense, so I don't have to worry about it as much. But if you find yourself hitting the edges of your mouse pad a lot, make sure if you're doing those hard and wide flicks, pick up your mouse and recenter it. So I'm gonna swing. I picked up after I swung it. After I flicked, my mouse is picked up and I'm putting it back in the center of my mouse pad. So flick, pick up mouse, recenter. Flick, pick up mouse, recenter. flick, pick up mouse, recenter. Next, we're going to move on to micro adjustments and flicking. For this one, once again, like I said, practice perfectly. Smooth is fast. Smooth is fast. So aim below them, above them, aim a little bit off of your target, micro adjust, shoot. It's just simple. Really just work on those micro adjustments. Make sure you're on them. Don't do what I just did. Make sure you're on their head and then shoot. Also can work on flicking, so you can flick from one head to the next. I put micro adjusting and flicking together because a lot of times when you flick, you're going to need to micro adjust. So look, I'm a little bit off. So what do? Micro adjust and shoot. Flick, micro adjust, shoot. Flick, micro adjust, shoot. A lot of times you don't even notice the pros are doing these things. You're like, how did he just flick and headshot him like that? Well, he probably flicked, micro adjusted, and then shot him, but you didn't realize because he's got so quick and good at it, and he got quick because of how much he practiced it and slowly built himself up by doing it slow. You can't expect to just be able to flick and hit a head every time. There's steps to these things that you need to master. So start out slow. Flick, micro adjust, shoot. Flick, flick, flick. Then you can also add these little AD strafes. It's simple. Next, we're going to move on to spray control. Spray control is another simple thing that the pros have just mastered. They put in more time practicing it than you. Just find a bot, find a wall, turn on impacts. I can't do it on this map. Aim map or aim bots. You can turn the impacts on and see your spray where it's actually going. But just find bots. Learn the spray. You pull down to the right, to the left, to the right. You don't need to learn the full spray, just learn like the first 10 bullets. Then start transferring between bots. There's also, if you have refrag, it costs a little bit. It's like $5 a month or something. They got spray on that, so the bots will like swing out 2 or 3 of them at a time, and you got a spray transfer. If you let go, it restarts. So that's also a pretty good way to practice. But make sure you just know the spray pattern first. Next, we're gonna go on to movement, which kinda it's not aim, but it's a big part of aim. Like I said, donk. His movement is what wins him a lot of these fights because he's giving himself more time to kill the opponent, and they're missing their shots. Um, so like I kind of pointed out before, add in these little micro strafes, these AD strafes. So just tap A and D really fast, and your bullets are still accurate. This isn't CSGO, this is CS2. Your bullets are still accurate if you're moving. Um, these little micro strafes. Add crouches into it. Master the donk strafe. So what that is if you're moving to the right, you're gonna counter strafe and crouch and keep moving the opposite direction. So like this. And then you can add some crouch and uncrouches into that. So crouching, coming out of crouch, going the other direction. Really focus on your counter strafes. Get them nice and crisp. So A, D, A, D, D, A, vice versa. Um, Simple, straight to the point video. All right, that's going to be the end of this video. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what I should do next. I'm going to be coming out with a aim routine for you guys here shortly, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys.